Alright, welcome back. Part 2 of Fort Mountain. So here we go. Sarah put on her shoes and her coat and started in the direction of the strange polyphony. What in the world is a polyphony? I never heard of that word. To her delight, she saw fireflies out in the forest over near the wall. She loved chasing them in the summer, but this was October, and all the fireflies at home in Atlanta were gone. Well, they're probably hibernating, that's why it's so cold. Anyway, as she drew closer, she saw that the flickers of light were not fireflies at all, but torches. And as they were carried along toward the wall, trees monumentally blocking them from view made them appear to flicker. Uh-oh. Better go back to Mom and Dad. Anyway, then coming up in the east, and the trajectory with the wall was a light, a huge pale yellowish white incandescent, round and so immense she could see the dark places on the surface. It was the largest full moon she ever seen. It's probably not a full moon, but anyway. It was almost as bright as if it were just after sunset, and about 100 yards away from her she could see figures wearing animal skins. They reminded her of the caveman pictures she had seen in a book, but they weren't all rough and hairy looking. Their hair shone as blonde in the moonlight as her own, and their limbs were white-skinned. Some moon-eyed people still alive, albino people. Now, the figures were climbing the wall and walking with a measured tread toward the full moon. Their arms were raised as if in worship, and she stood watching, hypnotized, for it seemed the moon was pulling them toward it. Then she realized that if she didn't hurry, they would all be gone before she could even speak to one of them. Why do you want to speak to one of them? That's a bad idea, bad move. Anyway, Sarah broke into a run. She had nearly reached the wall when her foot stepped on a loose rock and she tumbled forward, hurting her knees and scraping her arms in an effort to protect her face. You blew your cover, that's one. And two, you're such in a hurry, you could have took your time to go up there. But anyway, you wouldn't hurt yourself. When she looked up, she saw the last of the torches flickering out in the darkness like fireflies carried off by the wind. The notes of the drums had ceased. On Sunday morning, Frank Willard waked up feeling gratefully refreshed. Soft golden rays of the morning sun sifted through the trees. Birds were singing, and in every way, it was a brand new day. There's a picture of like some of the rocks. She probably tripped over. He looked over at his family. Meg was just waking up and greeted him with a sleepy smile. But Sarah, who was usually up before anyone else, lay still in her sleeping bag. Looking at her, he couldn't even tell whether she was breathing. She seemed in such a deep sleep, and for a moment he was worried. He bent over and touched her shoulder. Honey, wake up. Who are you? She cried out. What do you mean, who I am? I'm your father. Of course, Dad, I know who you are. I guessed I was just sound asleep. Her father laughed and ruffled the golden waves of her hair with his hand. Sarah stretched and discovered, and to her surprise, how sore her knees were. Stealing a cautious look at them, she saw they were badly scratched and that where the skin were broken some places and streaked with blood. Okay, you were not dreaming. You were actually out there. Okay. Her parents would see this if she wore the shorts she had on that day before. Daddy, I want to tell you what... And then she suddenly stopped. Yes? Nothing important. She remembered how her father had cut her off the morning before when she began talking about the beautiful music she had heard in the old cabin. Describing what she had seen at the wall might only irritate him. Then he would make her feel foolish by saying she was too imaginative. Sarah reached into her canvas pack and pulled out the pair of blue jeans to cover her injured knees. She would not tell him about the people on the wall, at least not now, and maybe never. Alright, that's it for this one. But, I mean, I don't care how bad your parents tell you you're just too being imaginative or whatever, just tell them if you see a ghost or something good. But if you go in the woods and you see blonde hair people, like albino skin looking people with like animal skin hanging over them, you better run or something, because I don't know what them people would do. Anyway, I'm sorry you hurt your legs and everything. I feel bad for you. But anyway, that's going to be it for that book for a while. I'm going to start reading the other ghost books and the other Bigfoot books. So that's going to be it for now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. And this has been another successful installment of the Tin Man Collection channel. I'm Jeffrey the Tin Man Taylor, signing off. And thanks for listening to my ghost story. Sayonara.